Just a few days ago, I asked you guys how much money you are making with ads on your sites. So you could tick a few boxes to show what the RPM is, so the earning per thousand page views. And I was pretty shocked, to be honest, to see how low the numbers were. I'll put them up on the screen here. You'll see that the majority of you are making less than $10 per thousand page views. And that was pretty surprising to me because I'm teaching you guys a lot of stuff here and I think some of it maybe gets lost between the lines, I don't know. And we also had some comments from some of you guys. So one of you said, I was shocked to see that most people are getting less than $15. I was too. And another guy said 41% is less than 10 from the YouTube gurus. You would think that $30 RPM was the average. And I completely agree. A factor that I know you guys are aware of, you know that you should target an American audience because as soon as we go just from the US to UK, I've shown you this before, we cut the RPM in half. That means that we make half as much money with the same number of people on our sites. And once we go from the UK to another, let's just say another EU country like Denmark or Holland or Germany, we cut it in half again. And if we go all the way to India, for example, sorry guys, sorry friends, we're cutting it down like 15 to 20 times lower than the US. So that's definitely the first lesson. If you weren't aware, location matters. But again, I think you guys are aware that the best money are to be made with an American audience. So I want to move on here. So the next thing to keep in mind here is that size matters. It matters how big your site is and how much traffic you have. And that's also why, that's the main reason why Ezoic used to have a lower threshold at around 10,000 page views before you could even apply for the ads. And with Medialine, we know it's 50,000 and AdThrive it's 100,000. That's why they have these thresholds. Of course, they want to manage fewer sites because they can offer more service and customer service if they have fewer sites advertising. But it's also just because you will make more money from the ads on your site as the traffic grows. Because as the traffic ramps up, it's just easier for the ad network to match you with advertisers and make sure that you get the best ads on your site. And once you reach a certain point, now that I'm in the AdThrive Platinum program, they'll also go out and do direct deals with bigger brands. So let's say you have a site in the food niche or you're talking about electronics, they will probably bundle some of these best sites together and go out to the advertisers and make direct deals with them. So of course, that also ramps up the RPM, and that's something you will never get with a smaller site that you just onboarded with, let's say, 5, 10 or 15,000 page views. So here's an example of what this typically looks like as the traffic grows to a site. These numbers here are from the Ezoic dashboard, from the big data analytics. You'll see how it grows nicely over time here as the traffic doubles a few times. And it's very, very normal to see this. So if you are in the early stages of your site and it's maybe just a year or two old, that's probably the reason why you're earning like less than $15 per thousand page views if you have American traffic to your site. And then of course the niche matters. You'll hear some people say otherwise, that is all about how to engage the user, and we'll definitely get back to that. But the niche matters. It matters a lot what audience you attract, because the people who are interested in golfing or cooking are just another demographic than people who are very interested in weather or clothing or crafting. And it's been a while since I talked about this. I have mentioned a few times how you should target what I like to call the upper middle class, because we still want a lot of folks searching for what we're looking into. We don't want to build a site about supercars because very few people can afford them. So most people searching for that are probably kids, and they will not pay you a good RPM if it's just kids looking for the craziest car or the fastest car. We want to target real buyers, people who are actually generally interested in the topic and not just looking for funny pictures and stuff like that. So an example of that upper middle class, as much as I hate that term, I think it's pretty descriptive, could be something around interior design or anything you find in a regular home, a hobby that people will do when they have time on their hands, and a hobby that costs a bit of money. And we always use golf as an example, but it's a great example because a lot of people play golf and it does cost some money to get into golf. You can't just get started with $500, right? So that means two things. First, of course, there are products to advertise for you with affiliate links, but also for the advertisers to put on your blog. It also means that these folks, they have a budget to spend on other things. Because remember, you're not just gonna see golf ads on your site if you have a golf site, right? The visitors to your site will be segmented and targeted with remarketing cookies. So they saw this store and now they'll see these ads for 30 days. But also, and maybe more importantly, they will have searched for different items and things. And when you click yes to Mediavine and add Thrive to that little consent box, you also allow them to tap into your search history in the browser. And then they have a good wealth of data there to know how to target you, because they will see what people searched for. So it makes a huge difference if people looked for pencils or a new tire for their bike, or if they were looking for a new golf club, or if they were looking for something fancy for their home, And then there's another factor entirely that I like to call stickiness. You can also call it time on site or how long people will stay on your article, but really how engaged are they with the content? So that comes down to a few things. So first of all, of course, how well are you matching the search intent? So how well is the headline doing? Are you actually delivering on that promise? So people staying on your site? And also, how engaging and how on point are those subheadings? Are you actually making a good job of guessing what they came for and what that next question will be on their mind? So each subheading, do they have a good flow and do they come in the right order? And are you talking about what people are actually looking for and what they're actually interested in? Or did you just scrape a lot of questions from people also ask and just pump that in as a table of content? So that matters a lot. And this is again where I like to use my gut feeling. And I just like to first of all think about what should definitely be in this article. And you'll be surprised how many people just use a tool or something instead of just really using their brain to create the best outline. We will look at a few examples here in a minute. But first, I also want to say that I talked to some people from the ad networks. And a few times I've heard them say that this factor, like how long people stay and how engaged they are with the article, that actually trumps the niche, meaning that this is maybe even more important than what you are writing about, that you have a good engaging voice and that you keep people on the site. So this is definitely something to pay attention to, especially if you are pretty new still in writing for the web. But let's look at a few examples now. So I chose an example here about how do cats show affection. And you'll see the first result up here. They have this article here. Let me move that a little bit so you can see it better. This is a very good article if you ask me. How do cats show affection? Look for these 7 affection signs. So they just go over them one by one. The formatting here is pretty good. We have spaces, not walls of text. And they start up here with number 1, cats show affection through their eyes. I like how they wrote that out like a sentence, so you actually know what that section is about. So if you know all about that, you can switch to the next one. Cats show affection through their tails, and cats show affection through cheek rubs. And you'll see the next one and the next and the next. It's just nicely laid out. There's not a lot of text. They get to the point, and I think something like this is well presented as a list post, as we see here. And the word count, I think here is around 1,300 words. That's very decent. It's not all over the top. It's not like 2,000, 3,000, 4,000 words. And let's take another one here that was ranking quite a lot lower. So they did not win this one, even though it's also a very established site. You'll see here how the subheadings here: bunting behavior in cats, cheek rubbing, kneading behavior, purring. So it's just not as engaging with the subheadings. Hello, grooming, and I don't even know what that is. And I assume many other people who are new into this also don't know what that is. Slow eye blinks from cats. I don't think it's as engaging. If we take the next one here, how do cats show love and affection? 10 things cats do to show they love you. So this is definitely also straight to the point, but it's very, very short. Bringing you gifts, showing you off the tummy, head butting, playful nipping. So I think this one here is just too short. It should definitely go into more depth. And this one also. Tips and tricks. How do cats show affection to people? It's a myth that cats are blah, 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 blah. And then they go on to the first one here. Eyes convey love. Tails never lie. It doesn't really show or tell us anything about how that shows affection. Cheek rubs communicate trust. There's maybe something. Head bunting cements relationships. Grooming is a social tool. So each subheading here is not really showing me how a cat is showing affection. I just don't feel as guided in this text here. Hanging out says I love you. I think something like this should be a list post, and you could try and see if you can bump that number up higher than 7. You'll see here number 2 here is 12 ways cats show they love you. The spruce pets, again and again, we always see the spruce. I know some of you guys are pretty annoyed with that company as well, but they're really just doing a fantastic job. They are everywhere. I just chose this pretty broad random topic here to show you how to write engaging subheadings and how to get straight to the point, and also break up the text so it's just very easy and engaging for the reader. So a few tips for you to ramp up those ad earnings. First of all, if you haven't put video on your site, you have to do it. You can do it with AdFrive, Videoine, and SOA. They all have it now. And they will all tell you that this is just getting more and more important. I learned from AdFrive that more than 50% of the total digital ad spend today is going towards video. And today you don't even need your own video content. You don't need to film your own videos. You can use what some of them call the universal player. So both Videoine and AdFrive and also Ezoic now, they have the option to just show other people's videos. And sometimes they'll just go straight to a video ad and just have that player just play ads. But many times they will show some other content in between because it's just the better user experience to not just have a video player just rolling the one ad after the other. So they do different things, but the bottom line here is that you definitely need video ads on your site, and not having videos is no excuse anymore. Just get them on there. So just talk to your ad network about how to get them on. And the second most important thing, I think, is to clean up the sidebar. So this, of course, is only for desktop users. There's no sidebar when we're on the mobile phone. But when people visit your site from the desktop, those are always the best paying visitors to your site because we have that sidebar. And you need to clear it out. You need to remove some of that stuff. I hate it when I see that people have a big related articles section, or they have just a lot of noise taking up the sidebar. You should keep it really clean and minimalistic so there's a lot of space for these floating or sticky ads that will follow you down as you scroll down the page, because these are definitely some of the high earners, just some of the best paying ads on your site. And of course you need the footer ad, but really talk to your ad network about how to set that up. And of course, until now, we've only talked about ads. I also want to touch on affiliate here. So I still do affiliate marketing on my sites. Actually, I'm trying to do a few new things to see if I can automate this and make it a little easier, because now that we have thousands of articles across our sites, it's just really hard to maintain all these little links. And I've seen this again and again and again as people ramp up and get more content on their site, and as they get more sites maybe and more content up, it's just very common to see that people shift either entirely into display ads or that they just shy away from affiliate links to some extent. But I still have affiliate links, and I try to find a few really good offers like I talked about in one of the previous videos, the one that I did last week or 2 weeks ago. I talked about how to establish a good partnership with a few bigger vendors and stores in your niche, so you can develop some really good affiliate earnings for those programs, those affiliate programs that makes the most sense for your readers. So find 1 or 2 or 3 good programs and develop good relationships with them. And some of the best programs are always the ones that target SaaS products, so software as a service, because they have a really long lifetime value with the customer, and they can often pay much higher commission, or maybe even recurring commissions. And I'm working right now, as I've mentioned a few times, directly with a newer ad network that have a lot of new programs coming in the SaaS niche. And I think we'll do some interesting stuff that I hope I can invite you guys into. It will be in my community. But again, affiliate earnings and affiliate marketing is time consuming, and we quickly move into reviews and product list posts and stuff that Google is really going after these days. So it's a little hard, but even for a site that's 100% informational or educational of nature, there can still be really good opportunities to promote a few products here and there. And if you just stick to a few or a handful of products, it's much easier to shift gears and move people to another product if one product gets sold out, as we see, or if it can't get shipped. As we know right now, there's some supply chain issues and some products just never really reach the stores. So we need to check these things, especially these days. Let me know in the comments what your RPMs are if you didn't participate in this poll, and let me know if you have some other good tips for ramping up the RPM. And I'll see you guys next time.